Hey, what's going on the internet? Hey, listen, one of the worst things that I've ever seen in my whole entire fucking life is this shit on YouTube. It's called The Best Documentary Ever. Transgender Kids. My child is transgender. Now, like, I can't even begin to talk about all the shit that's wrong with that. I mean, like, you know, you know, like this, like transgenderism, like first it was homosexuality, you know what I'm saying? Then they're like, oh, gay marriage and all this shit. Now it's trannies and shit, you know what I'm saying? Now it's transgender kids, right? Once you start to sexualize kids and start to erase all the barriers between what is decent, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to sexuality and children in our society, then basically what you do is you just condemn everybody, and you really open up the door for pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? You once you do shit like this, like transgender kids and all that kind of shit, basically what you do is you just get rid of any lines of appropriation, and you dispel any type of arguments of what's sexually appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like any type of like there shouldn't be gay kids. You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be transgender kids. You know what I'm saying? And there shouldn't be kids, you know, partaking in any type of sexual activity. You know what I'm saying? Any type of sexual activity. That also means choosing a quote unquote sexual identity. A sexual identity is just a really, politically correct way to say, this is the way that I like to fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, if everybody dressed up in fucking chicken suits, you know what I'm saying, and tarred themselves, or tarred themselves and put a bunch of fucking chicken feathers on, and that's how they like to fuck, you know what I'm saying, that would be somebody's sexual identity. So let's stop talking politically correct. Let's say these children want to cut if they're boys, they want to get surgery to cut their dick off before they've ever used it in pussy, you know what I'm saying, turn their dick into a pussy. But see, the thing is, with transgender kids, what they probably don't get told, and what we certainly don't get told, is that when you transition at that young of an age, because you haven't gone through puberty as a boy, you know what I'm saying, you don't got a lot of dick, you know what I'm saying, because you got a small dick, they can't turn that small pre-pubescent penis into a vagina, you know what I'm saying, so now you don't got nothing, you just got like a fucking innie, like nothing at all, you know what I'm saying, you fucking screwed yourself, literally, you know. And that's one of the main reasons. And I would imagine that with this transgender kid shit, the suicide rate for transgender people, which is already at 40 something, 40% of them kill themselves. It's damn near half. You know what I'm saying? So if you know two transgender people, one of them's going to kill themselves. Okay? You're almost fucking guaranteed with that. But with these transgender kids, with this now becoming a thing, I guarantee the suicide rate's going to go up, above like 60, 70 or some shit like that. And more than likely probably is already that fucking high. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because it's a mental disorder. Okay? Just take this thought exercise with me for a second. Okay? I was born incorrectly. Okay? I was supposed to have a fucking a peg leg. Alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get surgery to get my fucking left leg under my knee removed. You understand? Okay, and I'm gonna live the rest of my fucking life. Now, mind you, I want to be a pirate. Okay, so this is why I'm doing this. I wanted to be a pirate when I was a kid, so I'm gonna have my parents surgically remove my left leg, put a peg leg there instead, so I can live out my life as a pirate. Arr, matey, and all that great shit. You understand what we're dealing with here? I want to be a girl. I want to be a pirate. Same fucking thing. Okay, same thing. It's a mental disorder. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why you need to beat your motherfucking kids. You know what I'm saying? They say some stupid shit, you beat them. And then they're like, well, that was a bad idea. Let's, maybe I should try being a football player. Or something like that, yeah, this is messed up, man. This whole thing is it's really, really, really bad. And, most people who would probably just be like, oh, that's messed up, and just keep it moving. Like, I can't even do that anymore with this shit. Now I gotta get out and fucking, start talking on this shit, because something's wrong with the shit. And like honestly, I think people in low income, because I'm in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying, the hoods of Baltimore and shit, so it's not like we're balling down here or anything like that. I think with low income comes low IQ, and with low IQ you don't really have a voice in anything. People is steady just trying to get by, and we make our little comments on this. Hey, did you see that TV show? You know what I'm saying? We don't have enough brain power to fucking even talk about this kind of shit. So what I'm trying to do now is just kind of like shed light on situations like this, and encourage people to have an opinion about things that are destroying us. You know what I'm saying? They're destroying us as people, yo. You know, like, and this honestly, like, I've noticed in like the black community, that and I don't even really like calling it the black community, you know what I'm saying? I really don't. Like, I would say it's in a poor or impoverished communities, because it's not, even though it's predominantly black, it's not all black people, so it affects, people of different cultures, or cultural backgrounds rather, because when you start dealing with poverty, everybody kind of shares that impoverished culture. Like, we're all poor, and being poor is a type of culture, There's only certain things you can afford. Now, we all, have our own separate groups or whatever, but anyways, not to go off too much on a tangent, but just like we really do need to talk about this kind of stuff, because I've noticed that in our communities that when things change, like when gay marriage was finally legalized, you know what I'm saying, another incentive to destroy men and the sanctity of marriage in general. But when it was legalized, then once it trickled down to the poor community, it was like it was like they were doing it was like it just became more blatant, more like in your face. And like, again, when you're not intellectually stimulated by your environment, when you don't read, you know what I'm saying, when you're poor, and instead of trying to become powerful in relation to building your knowledge base, you know what I'm saying, the Bible says our people perish for lack of knowledge, you know what I'm saying. So when you're trying to escape death and become more intelligent, you start to develop an ability to talk about these things, you know what I'm saying. People don't have the ability, the mental ability where we're at, to deal with homosexuality, to deal with transgenderism. Like, even in the churches, like, because I'm a Christian, and I believe wholeheartedly that Jesus Christ died for our sins, But even in the churches, like, if you go to pretty much any black church, or any church, or predominantly black, or a poor church or whatever, right? But if you go pretty much to any one of them, what you'll find inside the church, maybe not the preachers or the people that's working the church, but what you'll find, you're always going to find an old lady, an old black lady, you know what I'm saying? Oh, praise him, Jesus, Jesus. But she doesn't know the Bible almost at all. Like, you can ask her basic fucking questions. You know what I'm saying? What's the first book in the New Testament? I don't know. But Jesus is, they don't know. And it really has a lot to do with an impractical, and a really impractical lack of knowledge. And like, when you are in an impoverished state, like when you don't have money, like you're in like this fight or flight kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So the last thing somebody is gonna like feel like doing is, well, they're depressed too, and we're depressed. All of us are depressed, poor people, I'm certainly one of them. But like, being depressed, like you don't like to build. Like, it's hard to build, you know what I'm saying, when you see, all the shit in your neighborhood. But we're the ones that have to take care of this. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that have to start speaking out and confronting these issues and making sure that they're not in our fucking neighborhoods, yo. Like, cause the reality of it is that a lot of liberals will say things like, peace for everybody, but everybody's ideologies, or a lot of people's ideologies clash with each other, and it's only going to cause turmoil. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a standard, you know what I mean, in all societies and all neighborhoods and all that kind of shit, that people, or the leaders rather of the society, not even the leaders, just the people that live in the society or community, all kind of just accept and know. And that kind of stuff, that generalized knowledge, like all of it goes down and down and down, the more each person is, you know, or the dumber we get as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like if you get somebody that's really intelligent, you know what I'm saying, and they live in an impoverished neighborhood and they want to go and speak out against certain things, a lot of people, it's not that they won't, a lot of people like won't like really grasp everything that they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the issues might go over people's heads. Like I remember when I was younger, like a lot of people would be like, yeah, you need to vote. Now, I still don't particularly vote. I don't. Okay, but I understand that there are consequences, like real serious and very real tangible consequences, depending on who's in office. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Republican or Democrat, because you know Democrats are crappy as shit, but I'm not saying anyone specifically, right? What I am saying is that it does actually have an effect on you. Now, I don't vote, okay? So by not voting in the wrong candidate, so to speak, there are certain things that won't directly affect you because you voted in the wrong candidate or you voted for the wrong reasons. Now, again, I'm a Christian, and my personal belief is that like we don't battle against the flesh. It's principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So that being said, I really don't have a lot of faith in like the government and politics and all that kind of stuff. However, I do understand that policies are something that I like. Policies are something that poor people especially shouldn't be ignorant of. Or if you don't understand certain aspects of politics, do not vote at all. Okay, because what I've noticed is, or what I'm starting to really come to terms with, based off of I forgot the lady's first name. Oh, Candace Owens and Mr. Powell. I forgot his first name. Just a lot of people that was talking about stuff in some of their books and stuff. Is that, you know, these policies are damning as hell. Like they screw people over, and it's because people were voting emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Against people just to be like, "Ha, I got you." And honestly, when it comes to politics and law and all that kind of stuff, when it comes to anything, when I would say that you're dealing with aspects of word magic and contracts and stuff like that, because I think voting and the legal system and all that stuff has a lot to do with the way spells work. You know, voting, it's all like, you know, write something down and put it in there. Like that's, you know, some of the same things. So when you're dealing with these Masons and stuff like that, or Luciferians or whatever, you have to remember that there's an old maxim in law, and it says, "He that will be deceived, let him." You know what I'm saying? So basically, if you're dumb enough to get played, then you fucking deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And whereas it's mean, that is a general rule in our society. And the Bible is trying to tell us, you know what I'm saying, our people perish for lack of knowledge. We die because of it. So the same way about the old lady in church who I had mentioned. Oh, Lord, Lord. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says that if you love me, you would seek my face. She's not really seeking his face. You know what I'm saying? In the same disposition where she's just kind of sitting there and she feels like, oh, I'm in the right place. I should be good. No, you're not. You're supposed to be studying. You're supposed to be reading that fucking Bible every single day. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be digging into it. You know what I'm saying? 5 chapters a day. Make sure that you get through it, and that's how you read it in less than a year. Anybody can do it. Everybody needs to do it. You know? And it's the same thing with voting. If you think that you're going to vote on anything, go ahead and learn as much as you can about politics, you know. And it's this lack of knowledge, especially when it comes to, and I bring up politics and the church to kind of loop it all back around to what we started talking about to begin with, which is all this sexual perversion that's being heaped out on us. Essentially, it's a deviation from what is. Kids, when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying, like we were you know, playing with basketballs, you know, soccer balls. We weren't cutting our balls off, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Like when I went to school, when I was coming up in school, there was one gay kid in middle school, or like two or three gay kids in middle school. Wasn't a lot, you know what I'm saying? The whole school was like two or three gay kids, and these kids obviously had been through some shit. Now everybody knew that they got molested, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew that, you know what I'm saying? Most people don't talk about that shit, but when we're talking about kids that are dealing with issues of sex at all, you know what I'm saying? At all, then we know that they've been introduced to something inappropriate. Kids shouldn't know nothing about sex, you know what I'm saying? What you are genetically, every fiber of your being says that you're a boy. You're a boy. If you have a fucking issue where you think that you're a girl, take up a martial arts or a sport. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being a boy and you like to garden or something like that. There is something wrong with getting your dick cut off. There is something wrong with homosexuality and all that kind of shit. Like, these perversions fuck your body up, number one. They fuck your body all up. You know what I'm saying? Do some research on what getting fucked in the ass as a dude does to you. Go ahead, check that shit out. It's all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? And then also, you know what I'm saying, take a look at the actual process that transvestites go through. Look exactly what they do. These motherfuckers like cut their dick into like 4 different whatchamacallits, plunge it up into their, like, it's fucking gross, dude. Like, it's pretty fucking bad. But anyways, the point is that when you're talking about kids, you know, when you're talking about, like, these are kids, you know, like, they're kids, and that whole you know, like, all right, so like you see the same thing with these kids, like the kids that are transitioning, these kids that are being you know, played by the doctors, played by the plastic surgeons, played by these Luciferian masons and shit that want to rob them of their innocence, that want to destroy them before they even get a chance to start. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about kids that haven't even hit puberty, kids that haven't even kissed their first girl, think they are a girl, and now they get their members cut off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how beautiful it is to be with a woman yet. Like, you have no fucking idea. And you fucking, like, and so these kids, to me, like, they seem to echo a lot of the abuse and trauma that kids that get, like, raped or molested. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get lulled into this false sense of, oh, everything's fine, this is how it is, because the adults around them are helping push this lie into their minds deeply. You know what I'm saying? If I was like, as a kid, you know what I'm saying, hypothetically, you know what I'm saying, like, if I was like molested by like a family member or something like that, and that family member was always around me, you know what I'm saying, what it would probably do, you know what I'm saying, I'm not speaking from experience or anything, but what it probably would do, I'm guessing, is it would warp your mind in such a way where those awful things would also be like dichotomized, I guess, with, I don't even know if that's a word, but I think it means 2 categories, but whatever. But like, it would probably be separated in such a way where you would be lulled into this psychosis. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would make you crazy. Like, you'd have to push that kind of shit out in the back of your mind, or you'd have to rationalize some other way to make all this make sense. You know, and it's not until you become probably like 29 or 25, 30 that you start to disassociate from some of those rationalizations, because around you know, 25, 30, you might have been gone away from the household that you were born in. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you was taught, now you've been 10, 15 years away from this. Now you're starting to see the world in your own eyes. You understand what I'm saying? So now those same psychoses that were put upon you, they're starting to dissipate, and you're starting to realize that something is fundamentally wrong with you, with a lot of the things that you've done. So, or a lot of the things that was done to you, and something's wrong with the world. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck can adults do this to kids? How could it have been okay then? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just think that, like, a lot of these kids, like, they're going through the same thing that kids that get raped or molested go through. And honestly, I think a lot of people that were homosexual have that same exact demon of fear and confusion on them due to people who had demons of lust or lasciviousness, or demons of torment that they want to hurt other people, especially the innocent. You know what I'm saying? Or it could have simply been the Keynesian kind of philosophy where people are Keynesian is really just another way to say what the hell is that fucking fruitcake's name, the evil warlock guy, the do what thou wilt guy. Oh yeah, Alfred Kinsey basically looked up to, I think it was Madame Blavatsky, or the dude I just named, the Aleister Crowley dude. Either way, both of those, Blavatsky and Crowley, were like witches and warlocks. They were Luciferians. They were people that, especially Crowley, and what I'm about to talk about, they were people that believed in sex magic and hurting little kids to gain demonic power. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why why you can turn on the news, right? This is the reason why you can, what's on TV? Click, and there's like, yeah, earlier today, a transgender child, and they're smiling, they're all happy with it. You know why? Because the world is run by the devil. If the world was run by holy people, or the saints, or the prophets, waiting on the return of Jesus Christ, we would fucking murder somebody who did some shit like this. Like, yo, like you have no fucking idea how hard it is for me to just have the public face and just walk around like everything's fucking okay. Like, I really want to commit violent acts against these motherfuckers. I swear I do. Like, you can't do this to kids. Like, you can't do this to kids, yo. Like, you can't do it. You can't. Like, it's not right. It's not scientifically sound. It's not medically sound. It's not socially sound. You know, you can't do this to kids. Like, you know, like you want to try to avoid any type of surgery for kids as long as fucking possible, because their body's still growing. You don't want to cut pieces of them off. You know what I'm saying? And then you certainly don't want to introduce a child to any type of sexual thing, man. Kids are kids. Like, they're supposed to have a fucking childhood, like, and people are robbing them of that. You know, and that really pisses me off, man. Like, it really does, man. And like, what's worse is that you got YouTube that'll sit there, not YouTube necessarily, but it's on YouTube, and you got a YouTube video that'll claim it's the best documentary ever because what it's talking about is one of the worst fucking things ever. Like, I guarantee you, when they legalize pedophilia, and they will, you know what I'm saying, when they legalize it, it's going to be brought to you as like this freedom, like, finally people are allowed to express themselves, and you're gonna have stupid motherfuckers saying the same stupid motherfucking shit that they're saying about gay people now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to what these rappers or any type of public figure who is obviously against homosexuality, who obviously does not agree with that shit, the first thing out their fucking mouth anytime they say anything about gay motherfuckers is, well, look, you know what I'm saying, I don't got no problem with it. That's a lie. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? If you, like, just listen to the language that people use. You know what I'm saying? Listen to it. Ask a motherfucker. You'd be like, hey, do you want your kid to be successful? Yes. You want your kid to be healthy? Yes. You want your kid to be happy? Yes. Do you want your kid to be gay? I'd love my kid no matter what happened to him, or no matter who he turned out to be. Totally different answer. You know what I'm saying? I said I'd still love him. That's not the fucking question. Do you want that for them? See, because as a parent, you're going to want good things for them. And if homosexuality isn't an obvious good thing, then it's a bad thing, right? You know what I'm saying? There ain't no fucking gray areas between this shit. Like, it's either good or it's bad. It's either something that you would endorse for children or something that you would not, because it's not fucking proper or decent. Something that we should keep away from our children so they don't, I don't know, cut their dicks off. You know? We're dealing with a war of terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need people to understand that no such thing as a gay person, okay? It's people doing fucking perverse acts, okay? That's what it is. In the Bible it says, is it Paul or Peter? I think it's Paul. Yeah, I think it is Paul, because it's, I don't know, is he talking to the Church of Corinth? Anyways, in the New Testament, either Peter or Paul, I think it's Paul, is talking to, wrote a letter to one of the churches, and he's talking to him, and he's like, look, man, you know what I'm saying, you know, liars and thieves and murderers and homosexuals, you know what I'm saying, and all this, you know what I'm saying, uh, will be will be um, but basically he, oh, damn, I can't remember the exact quote. I really want to get the exact quote. I don't like misquoting the Bible. Hey, I normally have this on the tip of my tongue, but basically what he says is that he said, as were some of you, you know what I'm saying, like when he's talking about, he's like, some of you guys were gay, some of you guys were doing shit, but you've been cleansed of your perversions, and now you guys are going to walk in holiness. I used to not believe that a person could be gay and then go straight, but or go straight, or a person could be doing gay shit and then stop doing gay shit and then continue to live a clean lifestyle. I really didn't believe that a person could do that, but you know, after seeing a few examples, I'm pretty much convinced that anybody could, because it's the same thing. Like a sex act, I don't think is more encompassing, is a more encompassing thing to impact your spirit, right? It's not a more encompassing impact of your spirit than, say, murdering somebody, right? I would say that if you murder somebody, looking into their eyes as they go dim and you see their light blink off would probably impact your spirit more so than committing a gay act. I don't know though. I really don't know. I really don't know. But I'm guessing. I'm just saying, like, the energy output, you know. Yeah, man. Now me personally, if people were to try to say that, like, I'm a bigot, I probably would even roll with those punches. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. Because I really do hate the aspect of hurting kids. Like, I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. I hate, you know, kid pride, and I hate NAMBLA, and I hate, you know, parents allowing their kids to be hacked up by these fucking doctors. I hate that shit. So yes, if you wanted to say that I'm a bigot or I'm a hater and all that shit, feel free. I really, you know, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things that's on the line that's way worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like what we're dealing with. Like, in 5 years, pedophilia is going to be well past legal. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you. And it's going to be because the motion that's already been started with all the way back to Will and Grace. Remember that show? All the way back to that. Like, back when that was risque, when people were like, oh my god, you know, Will and Grace, you know. But Will and Grace, you know, stayed on the air for a while, and they put that in your mind, so then later, when the whole gay marriage thing came up, you're like, oh, well, you know, Will and Grace, you know. And now, they got the best documentary ever, Transgender Kids, my child is transgender, and they're so fucking happy, and look at these motherfuckers, yo, like, very few people I really, like, oh man, there's few people, like, I would like to see, you know what I'm saying, get violently attacked by a flock of angry birds. Like, remember that movie Birds? Like, that's the least scary horror movie ever. Like, what the fuck? I was like, ah! I'm like, oh, there's a couple of birds out here. Better go in the house. That's about it. Like, fuck that movie. But no, seriously, man, the whole, yeah, this whole thing is fucked up, man. Like, the whole transgender kids thing, like, and it's not kids, okay, mind you, it's not transgender kids, you know. What it is, to not talk politically correct, you know what I'm saying, or talk around the issue, what it is parents letting their kid, or enforcing a harmful delusion on their children, you know what I'm saying, their pubescent children. These kids haven't gone through puberty. These kids haven't even started having raging hormones or anything. Like with the girls, right? Like, so the other thing is that they use hormone blockers, you know. Like, they're just like, they know what they're doing, because if they didn't use the drugs and the surgery, because that's a normal lifestyle, a lifestyle that you can only have after surgery and a lifelong thing of drugs. That's the only way you can live that lifestyle, mind you. And if I don't know enough about the shit, but I'm guessing But you're probably gonna have to do, you know, more than just one surgery. You're probably gonna do touch-ups and all that stupid shit. Whatever. I probably, you know, whatever. The point is that, like, that's not a lifestyle. That's a form of sickness. If you, like, think about it. Like, if I was just like, if we were playing like a game, like Pictionary, or not Pictionary, but if we were playing a game and I'm trying to describe something to you, you know, I'm like, okay, you got to get surgery and you got to take medication for it. And you're like, oh, a cancer patient. I'm like, no, you said diabetes. I'm like, no, it's transgenderism. And they're like, oh, that whole lifestyle. I'm like, yeah, that's what, you know, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, that's not no fucking lifestyle. Who the fuck? Nobody lives like that. Nobody lives where it's like, look, I was born in the wrong body. You're fucking crazy. You are a Looney Tune. If you fucking go around saying that, especially as a fucking adult, especially as an adult who was a fucking triathlon athlete, and you want to come out in a fucking, like, dude, like, you look horrible. Like, you look fucked up. Like, you look fucked up, bro. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, what the fuck? Like, that's, like, and then, like, I really, like, that whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, like, I don't get it. That motherfucker had, what, 20 years left of good life? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about before he drops dead, and this nigga want to go ahead and get the surgery and now hop on medications, right before he's about to start having to take medication for just being old. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, yo? Like, that motherfucker crazy as shit, yo. But it's not just that he's crazy. Like, my personal honest belief is that that kind of shit was like a psyop. It was something that was probably mentally implanted in this motherfucker, or it was something that, you know, he done sold his soul, and they're like, hey, look, Bruce, we're gonna need you one last time, and he's like, are you serious? You know, like, imagine him as Caitlyn Jenner, that ugly motherfucker. Imagine him getting mad at a fast food restaurant dressed up like that. Like, really? You're gonna put mustard on this? Really? Like, I don't think motherfuckers understand. Like, you know, like, you don't know what you look like, dude. Like, you look like a dude in a wig, in a bad dress, with big hands. That's what you look like. Like, the fuck is you talking about? And these poor kids, yo, like that, like, alright, so with the adults, what's wrong with them is painfully obvious. You know what I'm saying? With the kids, all you see is pain, because you see, like, all I see is pain because there's a little glimmer of hope that everything's gonna work out for them. Like, they don't know. With the like, first off, we're just talking about regular kids now, okay? Regular kids have this glimmer of hope about growing up. Like, oh man, I can't wait to be adult. You know, like, all right, wait till your first bill, motherfucker. You know, wait till your first breakup, or the first, you know, first time you get into a car accident, okay? First time you got to go to the clinic and you know something's up, you know? Like, being an adult is like, it's something that, look, you got to have to, if you're not properly trained on just basic life stuff, you're going to go through a lot of shit as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So for a kid to become an adult and they're like, oh, damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm depressed, man. I wasn't depressed as a kid. I had a nice life as a kid, you know what I'm saying? But, like, shit got hard when I became an adult, you know? And, like, it's just, it really, really, really bothers the shit out of me, you know, like, for kids that already are going through shit, you know? Like, I hate that shit. Like, it's already hard enough just to go from being a kid to an adult. That's already difficult, you know what I'm saying? Just growing up is hard enough, but the whole transgender thing with the kids, and then the surgery. It's like being a kid. It's like, remember Forrest Gump? He had the fucking the braces on his legs and shit. It's like having a problem like that. It's like you're sick, you know. But this sickness is something. It's a sickness that is a choice sickness. You are choosing this sickness, and what's worse is, as you get older and you start to become more creepy looking, and you start to go further and further away from this crazy body image that you're trying to get, and you'll never get it, by the way. You know what I'm saying? As you get further and further, it starts to, like, it's more medication, it's more surgery, you know? And that's fucked up, on top of all the stresses of becoming an adult. Well, look, you gotta get a job. Now you have to move out. Okay, get your own apartment. Hey, don't get raped in the parking lot, you know? Like these are things that people who was once protected and provided for with every fucking thing have to start to turn around and face the realities of, oh, this is life. Okay, this is difficult. You know, I understand my parents told me to get the fuck out of their face. You know what I'm saying? Leave me alone. Okay, I understand now. You know. So I just like, my heart really, really, really goes out to these kids, man. And more so, I think that us as a society need to, you know, just rally around these parents and fuck them up. Okay. You see a fucking parent with a transgender kid, beat them up. You know, I'm totally encouraging hate crimes out here. And the real reason is because they started that shit. You can't chop a kid's dick off and expect me to be okay with that shit. Okay? It's not alright. It's not fucking okay. You don't do that shit to kids, you know? You know what I'm saying? Look at the social science. Look at the motherfucking, the physical, look at the physical, defects and the physical backlash that comes from that shit. You know, how about you be a fucking parent and you tell them to shut the hell up, go eat some broccoli, and go to bed, okay? You don't just fucking dive into children's delusions. You know what I'm saying? My son told me the other day, he was like, yeah, Dad, he was like, I'm an X-Man. I was like, you are a mutant, okay? You are a mutant with mutant powers, and you already have enrolled in Xavier's school, okay? And you're 4 years old, and you've done all these things, you know? So I'll entertain that fantasy for a little while. But then I was like, all right, buddy, it's time to go to bed. And he was like, no, I'm an X-Man. I was like, no, it's time to go to bed. And then suddenly, he wasn't an X-Man anymore. He was a 4-year-old kid who had to go to bed. And he was really upset about that fact because he wanted to be an X-Man. But he knew, because I helped him understand that he was still a kid, thankfully. And he gets to go to bed when people tell him to. Not because he's so fucking tired, you know what I'm saying? Or not because he has to get up to go to work, or else he's going to be late, and then fired, and then homeless. You understand? Like, you have to be a parent. You can't just fucking, like, oh, I'm a girl. I'm like, oh, I know, but... And then the faggot-ass father's gonna be like, well, maybe there is a way, you know? Like, and in these interviews, you really don't hear the dads talk a lot. I've noticed that. I mean, I haven't seen them talk too much, because they know as men that men go in men are in social circles where somebody's gonna be like, man, you really believe that? That's crazy, sipping his beer and shit. Like, alright, Jim, but I mean, what about such and such? You know what I'm saying? Men are gonna fucking challenge you on that shit, so you better keep your fucking mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? That's why they keep their mouth shut, so they could be like, yeah, you know, like, the wife really thought it was. And as a man, you're gonna back up off the man's wife. You know, for the most part. But like, we talking about kids, I'm not. Like, your wife is a fucking loony bin. Divorce the bitch. Save your fucking child, you fucking soy boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is ludicrous. It's insanity at its fucking finest, yo. Like, it's devil worship. You know what I'm saying? It's devil worship. That's exactly what the fuck it is. This is what devil worship and Luciferianism, this is what it looks like. The belief that everything that's natural, you turn it on its head. Why do you think that the gay flag is the chakras upside down? Why do you think that? You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to turn the things that's natural on its ear, the things that God created and put in people to make correct and right. They're trying to flip it upside down. Men on men, transgender kids, pedophilia, bestiality. I heard bestiality was legalized some fucking weird. Don't let me lie to you. Okay, I'm a researcher and we'll talk about that in a separate one. But legalizing shit that shouldn't be fucking legalized. And it all stems back to a couple of statements. It's like, wow, you know, people should be able to do whatever they want in their house. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I'll say what a man does in his bedroom is his business. Oh, really? Anybody remember Jeffrey Dahmer? Remember what he did in his bedroom? Right. Let's stop acting like the repercussions of our actions do not affect our neighbors. They do. Okay? If I'm beating the fuck out of my wife every fucking night, you know what I'm saying, and my neighbors gotta listen to that, they're not gonna be like, hey, look, Officer Healy, what a man does in his house is his own business. They're gonna be like, look, he's beating this woman to the point that we can hear her fucking scream and cry for help, dude. Like, please, somebody help him. You know? And I could see these kids screaming and crying for help. because I know what it's like to grow up, as anybody that's an adult does. Like, you know, it's not an easy fucking path. And if you're cutting your dick off, or any part of your body, if you cut any part of your body off, I just want you to know that you are going to use that at some point. Any part. I was at I was born with a face that's too wide from the back of my skull to the front, so I got to cut my nose off because I wasn't born right. I wasn't born in the right body. Like, I want my head to be skinnier, so I'm gonna cut both of my ears off. I was only supposed to have 4 fucking fingers, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut off 6 fingers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this whole fucking thing is retarded. It's retarded. And more importantly, it's not just simply retarded, it's dangerous. It's not just dangerous. What it is it is Luciferianism. Go ahead, look into Luciferianism. Check it out, okay? You know, they deem I think it's like 8-year-olds. They deem 8-year-olds at a consentable level for all things. Like, once you're 8, you're an adult in Luciferianism. You know what I'm saying? The father must be. They do freaky shit, okay? Like, they emasculate the men and raise up the women. That's the reason why Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin and King of the Hill and like all these dudes, all their wives, you're all looking at them like, damn, how did they get down? You know, she's obviously in control. King of Queens and shit. Like, all of them have. Did they take it pretty good? I think so. All of them are like examples of like a Luciferian kind of concept. Like, they don't respect the male energy, like the female energy. Like, they want it, and anything that's natural, they want to make it unnatural. And you can see it, and mind you, these are the people that run the world. So that's the reason why, even though it's a lot harder to, even though it's actually more difficult to make processed foods, most of our food is processed. Sure, we could just grow it naturally, but no, let's process it. It's actually harder to do that. Did you know that? But even though it's way more inconvenient, let's just say, to abuse children in such a way where you destroy their personality, you destroy their body, you destroy their sex organ. You know what I'm saying? That could have been somebody's mom or somebody's dad that you did that to, that transgender kid, you know? And if you're an adult and you're out here making these decisions, it's because you have unchecked traumas from your childhood, or unchecked traumas from somewhere that you're not dealing with. That's the reason why you're doing that. You know, that, and the fact that in this society, people are like, oh, you know, whatever. Man can do whatever he wants in his bedroom. Long as they leave me alone and let me watch TV. You know what I'm saying? I won't have to say anything about it. That's the reality. People don't want to say nothing because people are cowards. People are scared of the backlash. They're scared of being made fun of, or they're scared of somebody calling them a bigot. Call me a bigot. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about kids here. Like, you don't do that shit to kids. You just don't. Like, and the reality of it is that NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association, the reality of them marching with gay pride and all that kind of stuff, and you know, gay pride people will be like, oh, well, we didn't know who NAMBLA was. We just thought, whatever, motherfucker. And then you got kid pride. You know what I'm saying? The reality of these things being advertised just kind of goes to show that, like, we're talking about public events, or, you know, where they know that thousands or you know, of people, or they know that millions of people are going to see it. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of people at least are going to be there, you know. So, you know, like, we done got to a point where, as a society, we would have never had a Freddy Krueger movie. You know. Remember how that movie started? He was a fucking pedophile. The neighborhood circled around that motherfucker and burned his bitch ass alive. You know? Like, that's, you know, that's the kind of movies that we need to be creating in our society, okay? I mean, you know, that's the reality. Like, I'd rather see a pedophile burn all day long than see another kid get turned out into a transgender. Like, I'd rather see that, because when you're talking about kids that are expressing sexual identities or desires or sexual or manifesting any type of sexual behavior, 90% of the time, if not all the fucking time, these motherfucking kids are being molested, or certainly mistreated, or certainly being exposed to some type of sexual shit that they shouldn't be exposed to. Children and sex don't fucking mix ever, okay? They're too young. They don't understand. Their bodies are not ready for it. And more importantly, if you corrupt youthful energy like that, what you do is you destroy the spirit of the society, and you destroy the spirit of the individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, our society is rife with a bunch of people who are sexually indecent. Our society is rife with a bunch of people who have extremely low moral values. You know what I'm saying? You know, people who are emotionally charged in all the wrong fucking directions. People, they'll fucking go crazy. They will pop off at any fucking moment for any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. They don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are charged up. They you know. And the crazy thing is, you know, with this whole thing is that you can you know, use pills or whatever to change the hormonal balance of people, and you can use surgery to cut off their appendages, you know, toes, arms, legs, and members, you know what I'm saying? But you can't change their brain or their heart, you know. People's brains and their hearts, and mind you, their brains are chemical producing machines, you know. Like, their brains are pumping chemicals through their body no matter how bad that they try to transform it or whatever. Like, their brains are going to just work that way. Like, that's how the brains work, you know. Like, you can't do that to people. You can't do that to kids. And these motherfuckers are just smiling like every fucking thing's okay. Look at this stupid bitch. She's fucking crazy, yo. Anyways, man, I don't even want to fucking watch the rest of this motherfucking video, but I gotta know what the fuck I'm up against, because our kids go to schools with these kids, you know what I'm saying, and these kids who are turned out, and these kids whose whole life is about some type of sexual thing, you know what I'm saying, like, it's about sex, like, that's what their life's about, changing their sex, having sex, oh, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, you know, all this shit, you know, it's all about sex. So these kids' lives have been directed towards is sex. Like, that's not right, you know what I mean? And if we can't see that as a society, then then we're fucking screwed. I mean, I already know that we're fucking screwed because it says so in the Holy Scriptures, you know. But like, I was really hoping it wouldn't be like this. This is fucking horrible. So, go to God, people. You know, fight against this whole transgender kids thing, is because it's a mockery of human nature, the human spirit. It's a mockery of men and women. That's what homosexuality and transgender and pedophilia and all these perversions, that's what all this shit is a mockery of who the fuck we are. Men are supposed to love women. Women are supposed to do for their men. You know, like, and like, because we've gotten so fucking far away from that, because we got so far away from the natural of how it's what it's supposed to be, it creates room for all this other crazy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Where you got you know, women who are basically becoming prostitutes or sluts, you know what I'm saying, because of the cultural aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I ain't fucking unless he give me some money and all this shit. Like, it's not just about fucking, you know? Like, it's not, like, we gotta fix our fucking problems, yo. Like, we got a lot of fucking problems, yo, but yeah, this it's a bummer, for lack of better words. But yeah, man, you guys try to stay classy out there, and remember one thing, the internet, say no to transgenderism. It's evil, okay? Especially when it comes to kids, because it's only going to lead to the legalization of pedophilia, which is going to be the end of our society. Alright, I'll see you later, the internet. Peace. This fucking stupid ass bitch made me fucking sick. Can't stand this motherfucking bitch.